Welcome back, you kings, queens, and in-betweens to another Should You Watch video here on the channel. We are continuing our foray into the winter 2025 anime season with probably the etchiest entry we will talk about this season, and that is Beheneko. The elf girl's cat is secretly an S-rank monster. Elaine, do you want to tell us about this anime?
Sure, a valorous knight dies in battle and is reborn as a cat, who isn't actually a cat, but an S-ranked monster known as a behemoth. But they look like a little tiny house cat. One day, while this tiny house cat, not house cat, is wandering the dungeon, he is severely injured and found by an elf girl named Arya, who believes him to be a little house cat and takes him in, makes him her pet, calls him Tama, and then forces him more or less on adventures with her.
Yeah, I mean...
Light forcing.
Yeah, he's not really being forced. He wants to protect his master, and she is his master immediately. Like, he has undying loyalty to her immediately from episode 1.
Well,
like, he will do
him.
anything. Yes. I understand that, but he's also a knight, I guess, so that's kind of like ingrained and they have their person that they protect. But what are your thoughts on this anime?
This is an anime with absolutely no substance whatsoever. It's got a very basic premise and just leans into its lewd nature, quite literally, with views of leaning.
Yes, it is designed as eye candy, and it's designed to be, etchy and show mostly top up stuff for the female characters and scantily clad male characters. And it kind of knows what it is, and it leans into that. Like, how many episodes we watched? 6, 7,
Something
6?
like that.
I think there has been 4 or 5 hot spring scenes. Almost every episode has one hot spring scene in it. And that's just, they know what you're watching the show for.
It's a sign of a good anime having a hot springs in there. It's like adding a dragon in a fantasy. You gotta have your dragon.
There is a dragon in this too. There's an earth dragon.
There is.
And I don't think there's a lot to this anime that really would make you want to watch it unless you're specifically going in to watch it because it's partially uncensored and it has attractive female characters in it, or attractive male characters if you're leaning towards that. But I feel like the male characters, you're not getting anything more from them that you would get in most other anime because they don't typically worry about censoring male characters.
That is true.
But in terms of substance and story, there's not really much here. And it has that problem that I feel like a lot of those overpowered protagonist anime have, where everybody who surrounds themselves around the main character who's overpowered, like, really loves the main character and they're the most adorable and the bestest. It's like in Slime, where everybody wants to hold Slime when they're in their slime form because they're the cutest and whatnot. And they all get along with each other, and it's sickeningly getting along with each other all the time, and they're so supportive of each other. And it's just after a while, I was like, can you just have some inner conflict? Can you have any depth to your character?
Well, there was that one guy who tried to throw a wrench in their relationship when Kitty scratched his face.
Yeah, like the first episode.
Leaning into the second episode.
Going into the second episode.
That was 2 whole episodes.
But he's
Jerry.
also not part of the party, so
That's true.
you don't
true.
see him after the first 2 episodes. At least he hasn't come back. Maybe he will. But all the female characters and now the male characters that have become part of the main party are all just like, they love each other and they get along and they support each other. We just want the best for you. We just met you an hour ago, kind of thing. I don't know. I just feel like that's a thing that annoys me in most anime like this.
Everything annoys you, though. So.
Wow, this is such a reverse on how this used to be.
I know. This kind of feels like Queen's Blade if you threw a few men in there, took out the butts. They forgot the butts. They screwed up there. They really need to do more with that. And slightly less blood.
Yes, it's not as violent as Queen's Blade. It's like isekai violent, which is, it's violent and things die, but it's not reveling in the gore of it, where I feel like Queen's Blade did.
And there's that surface level story where you're not here for that. You're here for character designs, which I feel are mediocre at best. I feel like there are better character designs out there.
Queen's Blade had better character designs. More attractive character designs, I believe.
And I feel like this one changes perspective more than a lot of other things. Like sometimes Thomas seems like a normal sized cat, like a kitten just exploring the world. And sometimes he seems like half the size or less of a normal kitten, and I'm very confused.
In the first couple of episodes, I was like, how big is he? Because sometimes he seemed like he was like that big. Sometimes he seemed like he was that big. Sometimes he seemed like he was that big. And it's like, how big is this cat? Because the cat doesn't change size. It doesn't have a power to change size outside of the whole behemoth thing. But like, it's in the poster, so not spoilers. But outside of that, he stays the same size, and he's supposed to be like a little kitten, and they refer to him as a kitten several times. But sometimes he is like, he's this big, and then other times he's the size of a normal cat. So I don't know. I just think they got lazy sometimes when they were drawing it.
He's bigger on the inside.
Yes, he has a man's heart inside because he was a knight. You would imagine he is at least of age. I don't know how old he was, but he seemed like he was an adult in the original life that he lived. Would you recommend that people watch this?
No, it's so ridiculous. There's nothing to it. Like, if you're looking for a lewd and ridiculous anime, at least go for one that's like more attractive and harder with it, like Queen's Blade or something, or Gushing Over Magical Girls. You like that one. That one has a good story.
Gushing Over Magical Girls, definitely go for that over this. That has character development. They're both on High Dive too. So they're both equally annoying to try and watch. But that one has character arcs. It has good story beats. It has talk about, mental issues and social disorders. This doesn't have any of that. It just has the eye candy stuff. And if you're really not into it for the eye candy, then you're not really getting anything else out of it.
Lewd.
Yes, it is lewd. So you're not going to continue watching this?
No.
I'm also not going to continue watching this. And we watched more of this than we typically watch of the ones that we don't continue to watch because it was easy enough to watch because there was like not anything to it. It was like eating food that didn't fill you up. You could just keep eating it and you weren't getting anything at the end and you were still hungry afterwards. But, it was easy to eat in the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Something that is really easy to digest and gives you a whole lot of substance and can keep you satiated for days and days is this Should You Watch content here on the channel. You should like the video if you like it. Comment down below. Let us know other anime that we should be reviewing or watching this season. The gems that we're missing out on. Tell us about the deep substance behind Beheneko. The elf girl's cat is secretly an S-class monster. S-rank. Oh, I almost got all the way through it. Subscribe to the channel so you can watch me mess up in the future and ring that bell so you don't miss anything going forward. I messed that up too. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.